guys, I'm Natalia with This Adventure Family, and in this video we are going to be talking about boondocking. Make sure you hit subscribe and hit that notification bell so you do not miss any more videos from us. Okay, boondocking. If you've never heard of such term, what it means is basically you camping with no hookups, no power hookup, no water hookup, no sewer hookup, nothing. It's just you and your rig. You're probably doing it somewhere for free and you're probably in the middle of nowhere. That is the true definition of boondocking. Depending on where you are boondocking, you may not have a water spigot anywhere near you. You may not have any picnic tables around. You may not have any dump stations. You may not have any bathroom facilities in the area as well. So it's very important to prepare yourself before you go boondocking. We have been boondocking for 8 months, give or take, with occasional campground stay here and there, and we absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. We have 2 boys and we always have such a great time boondocking. Not only it's free, it's also very spacious, unlike going to an RV park or a campground where you're limited in space. When you're boondocking, you can just open your door and you'll have, like, I don't know, so much space. But where can you boondock? That's a great question. Most boondocking sites can be found on apps. There's a lot of apps online that have a ton of boondocking sites that you can search for. We use specifically Compendium app. I found it to be really great. It has found almost all of our boondocking. But there's other apps that you can choose to look at, like iOverlander, Wild Camping, or something like that. I can't remember. But anyway, most of the time the places where you can boondock are public lands, meaning they are BLM land, Bureau of Land Management, they are national forests, and they are Department of Fish and Wildlife. Those are 3 great examples where you can camp for free. But before we started our boondocking journey in our RV, we had lots of questions, and if you are just starting out, you probably have lots of questions too. My major concern was safety. Well, is it really safe to be boondocking out in the middle of nowhere? Oftentimes you don't even have cell reception where you are. So is it safe? Like, you know, what if something happens? We have a family and we have to make sure that we don't put ourselves in a situation where we end up being in danger or something like that. So stick around till the end of this video. I'm going to share our top 5 tips for safety while boondocking. When you're out boondocking, if you're going to do this summer or this camping season, make sure that you pay attention to the rules and regulations of the places that you're staying at. A lot of times there is a limit to how many days you can stay. Most of the time it's 14 days. You can camp for 14 days and then you have to leave for a certain period of time until you can come back, if you want to come back. And then if it's a really popular area, like around a national park or something like that, then the limit may be even lower than that. Like we stayed at Grand Teton National Park, right outside of the park, and the state limit was 4 days only. So just make sure you're being a good camper, a good neighbor, and you follow the rules. There are unspoken rules when it comes to camping, like don't run your generator all night at night and stuff like that you should be aware of. Which brings me to my first tip about safety. My first tip for safety while boondocking is come prepared. Do your homework before you get on the road. And I don't just mean get your water, your food, your power and everything ready. I mean really research the places that you're going to. You're gonna want to read those reviews on the app of the certain place that you want to go to. Those reviews almost always have gold information, like is the place sketchy, is there a cellular there, is there bathroom facilities or stuff like that. Like, this is why it's so very important to leave a review also. So make sure you read those reviews, because you may find something that you will not like the road is too bumpy, or you need a high clearance vehicle, like all those things you can find in the reviews. So read them. Okay, tip number 2 for boondocking safely is research the weather, where you're going and when you're going. You don't want to get caught off guard. A lot of boondocking places have dirt roads and you're basically camping in dirt. And if it rains, if there's some sort of downpour, then you might get stuck there for longer than you planned to be there. So make sure you pay attention to the weather before you go. Okay, tip number 3 for safely boondocking is park away from the road. If you get to the spot and there is a major road near it, tuck yourself in somewhere. That way you're not an easy target to anybody who is driving and has some different thoughts, you know? So you're gonna want to park away from the road. That way you don't hear road noise and you're not becoming an easy target for not so nice people. Okay, tip number 4 for safely boondocking in the middle of nowhere is, this is true for basically everything, there is safety in numbers. If you get to your boondocking spot and there are people already there, it's always a good idea to drive around and look at everybody's rigs and kind of get a feel of what the people are, you know. That way, if you are not comfortable camping by yourself, then you can just park in good distance of others. Make sure you don't disturb anybody and give them plenty of room. But when you are boondocking in these beautiful places, chances are that people that are already there boondocking also are nice campers who just came to do what you came to do. You know, they're just there because they want to appreciate the nature and get a true boondocking experience. They're not out there to hurt you. One thing that we do that really helps us is before we get to our boondocking spot, we will usually pull up Google Maps and we'll look at the area around that spot. We can see all the roads around it, we can see if there is a dirt road or anything else that we would like to know before we get there. But that also brings me to my tip number 5 about safely boondocking. My tip number 5 is listen to your gut. This is so very important. If you get to a place, you've probably experienced it before in other areas of your life, you get to a place and just something doesn't feel right, something feels off, even if it's your partner who is feeling that, listen to those feelings, because majority of time, if something feels off, then it's something is off, you know? So listen to those feelings, look around the area, and make a decision based on that, if you want to stay or if you want to go. And also a bonus tip for you guys, because I love you all and I want you to have a great experience boondocking. Always have a plan B. Last year and this year are crazy for RV travel and camping. Everybody wants to do it. It's the safest way to travel these days. So that means some boondocking areas might be at their capacity, you know? So make sure you have a plan B. Look around the area. Where else can you camp? Where are maybe state parks or other campgrounds that you can quickly call and reserve a spot in case you cannot find a spot where you came. So always have a plan B. Okay, so those were my tips for safely boondocking out in the middle of nowhere for free, guys. Go ahead and make your plans. This summer is going to be epic. I hope you enjoy it. We have been boondocking for about 8 months with our children. We're safe, we're healthy, we're loving this. Okay guys, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure give it a like and comment if you've ever been boondocking and what's your favorite part about boondocking. Also, you are not going to want to miss the next video where I will cover about boondocking setup, the must-haves, and things that are really not that necessary while boondocking. So stay tuned.